Today is the 6th. Haven't vlogged in 2 days. Nice Land Rover. What's up? How's it going? Anyways, just been like walking around downtown basically the past 2 days. I haven't done much else. That's about it. Yesterday it was like 8 degrees here all day. It sucked. But now today's nice. So St. John's weather, East Coast weather are just so weird. So like 10 minutes ago I was talking to some like old lady about a museum called The Rooms, and she left one way, I went the other way, and then she came back the same way. It was funny. I don't really have much for this vlog. I've already kind of explored most of there is to do in St. John's, and a little update, I got the ferry on Saturday, so I'll be heading back to Sydney Sunday morning. So yeah. However, I figured I need something for this vlog, so I'm not necessarily going to talk about the things you see in St. John's, but the people. See this clothing store right here? It's called Chafe and Sons. I'm not sure if you want to have a clothing store called Chafe. In the first few days that I started like doing the road trip, I had a tough time kind of expressing myself out to other people, and then I got to St. John's and it completely, like, my entire world flipped. I went to a bar, got screeched in, and just sat there for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and just met so many people. It was insane. I mean, I'm talking like I met people from, you know, Montreal, Toronto, BC, Nova Scotia, basically almost every province except the territories, and maybe like Manitoba, Saskatchewan. And like when you travel alone, you have this fear of not being able to like meet people because you're always moving somewhere. You're always like, just, you're nomadic, right? So, but I've been in St. John since like Friday, and it got a bit tough for me to do that kind of stuff because I'm not really one to go out and talk to people. But when I got to St. John's, that's what I had to do. I had to force myself to go out and talk to people, or else I would have just been some guy living in his car doing not much, not meeting people, not, you know, getting people's views, getting people's opinions on stuff. Like even last night, I struggled to go out just to like the bar, and then I got to the bar, and I actually ended up talking to some guy. He's in the Belgian army, and he had some really cool stories to share. He's going to Medicine Hat today, I guess, to do a training exercise with the Canadian Air Force. You know, like people like that, those kind of experiences, it only occurs when you put yourself in a position where you're not comfortable. Pretty much what I'm trying to tell you here is that if you travel alone, you want to meet people, you literally have no choice except to get out and talk to people, talk to strangers. Literally, like one things my dad told me before I left was not to trust people, I guess you could say, because then they would take advantage of you. But honestly, I've had like no issues so far with that. Everybody I've talked to has been a stranger, and like I've been offered showers, I've been offered meals, I've been offered places to stay. And it's more like a gut feeling where you kind of know if you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable, which, I mean, does happen, but if you keep your wits about you, if you keep your mind not cluttered and just kind of you're aware of what's happening, then you should be okay. There's no problem at all. Well, I'm not saying the world's like a perfect place. There's bad people out there, there's good people out there. But I find most of the time that for every like bad person, there's like literally hundreds of people who will, help you in any way possible. And I can't really explain that more. It's just like a feeling you get when you travel alone. I don't know. It's definitely something I didn't expect to occur, like to expect to experience like this, but at the same time it's like very rewarding, I guess you could say, for like even my self-growth. You gotta get out, you gotta meet people, you gotta put yourself in positions where you're not comfortable, and you realize that the world isn't as bad as it's portrayed. And like East Coast people in particular, I don't know if it's a salt water or if it's like just the weather out here or something like that, but like people literally walk past you and say good morning. Hello, you exist, I see you, have a good day, person. Like in Toronto, they just walk past you. I'm sure if you said good morning to someone in Toronto, they'd say good morning, but out here it's just like you don't have to initiate that contact. They just do it. They do it to everybody, not just a guy talking to a camera. So to put it into perspective, what I really try to get at is like the lesson of having to put yourself in positions to be not comfortable. Because when you're not comfortable, you kind of learn who you are as a person and like what you want, your dislikes, your likes. And that's like the biggest lesson I've learned so far, especially coming to St. John's, because I'd just be a guy living in his car in the middle of a city with no one to talk to. And who would want to talk to that person? I mean, it's just like, and St. John's has been nothing but wonderful to me. I mean, I met so many people, I met so many, like I've touched base with people, I've made friends, contacts, networks. It's just been wild. It's been a wild week, and I leave Saturday for the ferry. I've been on the island for like 2 weeks now. I mean, there's definitely a huge difference between the west and the east side of it. But the one thing that I'll likely remember is not the wind or the rain or the fog or just the volatile weather or the climate or views. It's just the people. Like I can't even explain. You got to come out to Newfoundland and just meet people, just talk to people. Also, I would like to address one more thing. So Terra Nova, I did go to. My camera battery had died at the time, so I didn't get to film any of it. However, if you have time to only do one national park in Newfoundland, I would highly recommend Gros Morne. Terra Nova has its beauties, it has its perks, but Gros Morne just like exceeds every expectation I had for it. Now, I know I've only been to 3 national parks since I've been on this trip. The Cape Breton Highlands National Park had a beauty it's all on its own, and so did Gros Morne. And I feel like that's a better way of putting it versus actually having to rank national parks. It's just that you always find one thing to take from that one area that made it joyful for you, versus going through one area and being like, oh no, it all sucked. You could go through Manitoba and Saskatchewan and think, oh yeah, this was flat, this was boring, this is not fun. But you have to search around areas to figure out what's cool and take that one cool aspect of it and just like remember that aspect to make it seem like you did enjoy your time in Saskatchewan or Manitoba. That's what I'm trying to get at with Terra Nova. I mean, Terra Nova isn't a Gros Morne, it's not a Cape Breton Highlands, but there's one aspect in Terra Nova that I enjoyed. And it was the lookout when you pass the Visitor Information Center, and it was very nice. I had a nice 360 view of the entire park. I don't have footage of it obviously because my camera battery passed away. Okay, so that's probably it for this vlog here. I have one more area to check out in St. John's before I leave. That'll be tomorrow. It's called The Ruins. It's a museum, and I love history, so it's gonna be awesome. Of course, I'll take you along. See you then.